With the end of 2017, Russia announced withdrawing its troops from Syria and the end of the war on ISIS. Now, does this mean the end of the Russian role in Syria?
It means a different role for Russia in Syria. For 2 years, Russia was the dominant player on the battlefield, or let's say above the battlefield in Syria. It was the biggest outside power wielding military force in that country. From now on, although Russia will remain in Syria with its military forces, and it will be engaged in the military operations, those operations, I think, will be on a smaller scale than before. And the bulk of Russia's effort will be in the diplomatic field. And on the diplomatic field, the situation is much more complex. And some of the allies that Russia had during the war will pursue their own foreign policy strategies that will not wholly align with those of Russia. Think of Iran. Iran has its own interests, and those interests are not necessarily supported by the Russians, whether in Syria or in the Middle East as a whole. Or look at Turkey. And then there will be other players that will have a bigger say, the players that did not have a military presence in Syria during the war, but they will be important political factors, such as Saudi Arabia, or Qatar, or Jordan, or other countries, or the United States of America for that matter. The United States did have a military role, a limited military role in Syria, but it will also have a major political role if we're talking about some kind of a final settlement.